This is cinema! Listen, production, give me a camera on Facts, stand up right now, can you hear me? Facts, give Peter Butt some love, baby! We're back, baby! We are back! Let's go! Okay, sorry about that. Sorry you guys had to see that NA bias mask off. Here we are, guys. Why does it always happen like this, Vivid? Why does it always happen like this? It's like, Peter Butt, like, he's one of the best players in the world. Oh, he's not doing that hot. Then he comes back, and it's like, when it matters, oh, just kidding. He's just showing up. 2 victory royales on the day in a finals lobby of the quality and caliber of this lobby, both coming down to solos from Poyo.
This is just the same story over and over and over again, it feels like. Over on NA regionally, and even globally speaking, so many times these guys start to get counted out as the games start to get deeper and deeper. And then somehow, some way, these guys just fly up the leaderboard. They find the momentum that they need. They find the energy from the crowd, the fans, from people like Facts, and they just ride with it, man. And it's all in the back of Poyo. How many 1v2 is this guy gonna pull off today?
Unbelievable. I feel like we've seen this before. Poyo has this meta, has this shotgun, this Chaos Reloader down to a T. The way that he's moving in these 1v2 situations is unbelievable. The timing that he seems to have on all of his loot and his inventory, knowing when to stay back in the storm, when to heal up, when the shotgun's reloaded in his inventory, and then when he can go for the next shot. He is so in tune with the game right now, and it's showing there in the end game.
His approach, by the way, Peter Butt and Poyo's approach, to that game seemingly was focused around the strats that Sky and Scroll have been known to kind of implement. Because remember, if we think back to the middle of that game, who did they push? Who did they eliminate?
Yep.
Sky and Scroll themselves. Of course, they only got one of those eliminations, but they did enough damage to effectively render them useless. If they are going to make a push for this win here at the Summit with 1 game left remaining, they've got to do that exact same thing again.
Oh my gosh, and I'm getting word production has a listen in from that game. Let's check it out.
Nice. Pizzas. Shock him out, maybe. Nice. Good build. Shock up. Let's go! Oh my god, let's go! Let's go!
Oh my gosh, I love that Pete's just giving Poyo the moment to focus on in there, to make sure he needs what he has to have complete calm in that moment to find and land the shot. What's crazy too, we saw this fight happen not that long ago, right? Poyo also eliminated Reed along the way to get his previous victory royale. Man, Mini Miner, we have 1 game left to go, and take a look at these standings of 6 placements. Peter Butt and Poyo, 306. At the top, Sky and Scroll, 352. Vico and Malabuka at 342. And honestly, even look 1 row down, Teeny Shark, 301. Boys, this is coming down to the final game.
It's always interesting going to the final game, isn't it? How does it always happen? It's always coming down to the wire, and for Sky and Scroll in that last game, unfortunately for them, they went down super early. Their first stumble in every single game we've seen them today, and it's so unfortunate for them. What it means for the rest of the lobby is that they can now push up on through. But for Sky and Scroll, this was the moment, this was the game where they could have solidified their win. They've taken it all the way down to the wire, Vivid, all the way down to the last game.
And this one's gotta feel bad, right? Because you caught it out earlier, Mini Miner. You were looking for the chink in the armor for this duo.
Yeah.
It doesn't even really look like they did anything for this game. I mean, we tuned in with them. It was like 140 builds available for them. They were 400 above the Storm Swords threshold. There was one problem. Pete and Poyo were in the lobby.
That's
Can
exactly
you see
right.
in the background? Poyo is looking in right over.
Oh my gosh.
Are you guys catching that in production?
Yeah.
Are you guys catching? They are looking at him. They're like, could we see an invitational type situation? Could we see? Look at him. Poyo still looking looking at Sky and Scroll. I cannot believe it, guys, with a single game left. We can't also forget Vico Malabuka. Remember, Vico Malabuka are firing on all cylinders right now. They've been trying to catch up to Sky and Scroll, and now Peterbot and Pollo cleared the way. Now they're up front. They can make this happen.
10 points behind, I think it was there on the standings. They could actually do it right here. They made the most of the fact that Sky and Scroll went down early on in this game, and I was watching them a lot during this endgame. The way that they played this endgame, this huge refresh onto Kingaling right there. Even the understanding, they had a really nice 10-zone pullback, which really helped them out. They didn't need to go for too many crazy refreshes, too many crazy frags. They understood they could play that zone, play inside of those boxes that have already been built, and then ride out those placements, because for these guys right now, they don't need to do too much. 10 points behind, I think it was, as we'll have a look right now. Yeah, 10 points behind the leaders. Honestly, Vivid, they could do it.
They very well could. Vico and Malabuka have been so dynamic throughout the day. It feels like every single game, it feels like they're kind of playing different. Acorn and Bolt's there in 5th place. If you kind of paid attention, 3rd place, Pete and Pollo, there we at 306 points. Acorn and Bolt's in 5th place, we're on 295 points. So as it currently stands, only an 11-point difference between 3rd and 5th. As you can see right there, refocused in on the battle between 1st and 2nd as it seemingly stands. Vico is locking in.
And this is bigger than just this tournament. This is bigger than just this game. This is legacies on the line. Are the new kids on the block, Sky and Scroll, are they the real deal? Is it going to be the older guard? Malabuka, players that have been here, that have done it in Peterbot and Pollo. This is where we find the answer to that question. Who will cement their legacy, or who will rekindle theirs that so many thought was lost?
Genuine chills just went up and down my arms as I'm taking a look at the POVs of these players right now. The vibe meter that Levin was kind of talking about, I feel like it's been so high throughout the course of this tournament for Vico and Malabuka. Right now, they seem so stern.
Yeah.
Has the pressure finally hit going into the last game?
That's exactly what I want to talk about. That's exactly what I want to talk about. We have 1 game left to go, 5 duels all in contention. You could even argue that top 6 as well. Half of these players have been in this type of situation before, right? Even look at someone like Shark and Teeny, right? Shark, this is his kind of first time being in this situation. This is the hardest and the most intense. The pressure is going to be on them.
Yep.
Look at Sky and Scroll, same thing, right? Vico Malabuka, Pollo, Peterbot, they've been here before. They know what that last game looks like. This is a rare Vico we don't often see. The focus, the quiet Vico. Pollo, look at him. He doesn't look scared. He looks focused. He looks like he's in his element. He's clutched twice already. The pressure. This is it. All eyes are on this stage. All eyes on these 5 duos. That's the question, isn't it, Vivid? It's the pressure.
The pressure is what makes the difference every time. Every single one of these players that we've kind of interviewed throughout the weekend, they all try to seem like they're cool, calm, and collected. They try to make it sound like nothing really bothers them. But does anybody ever really believe those answers? I would have a very hard time myself believing it, especially when you take a look at some of the facial expressions that we are getting going into a game that feels like it's weighted so heavy.
This is the time, though, to turn those doubters into believers.
Absolutely.
In the future, when we talk about the team that ends up going in to win this, we can say they have done it. They have been there. In some cases, in Vico Malabuka's case, they came so close. In Peterbot and Pollo's case, they've done it already. Let's see if we can do it again. How are things going to go down for Sky and Scroll as well? Newer players coming on through here. Can't wait.
Guys, Fortnite fam, this is it. The last game out of the FNCS Summit. We are looking to crown champions. The top 15 will move on to the Global Championships. 1 last game settles it all. Casters, over to you.
This is it, the final moment here on the Summit land, where 50 points separate our first place team and our entire top 5.
And you wouldn't think that the margins should be this slim with the way that we've seen so many of these teams having their respective highlight moments throughout the course of today's game. But it all comes down to this. Game 8, let's see it.
everybody at home, everybody in this arena, we're all asking ourselves the same question. Will Peterbot and Pollo do it again? Year after year, championship after championship, they are the ones known to do it all.
We have seen crazy plays happen in final games all year long. It's Fortnite heritage at this point. But this time around, it looks like everybody is going to do their best from their own spot. Damo and Kazi, are they going to play spoiler here? What's going on? Hold on a minute. Scroll and first.
He gets the AR. He gets tagged up though. HP. It's down. First place is out of the game early.
Cassie and Damo are public enemy number 1 of this lobby. They're not even gonna leave it for Vico Malabuca, Peterbot and Pollo to decide. They take the battles up and duke it out over at Llama's Landing. But Sky and Scroll, what a heartbreaking finish. The point disparity just not enough. This is the deciding sequence of events.
I don't think anybody in this building was expecting that to go down how it just did. And just like that, the door is wide open for any one of those teams in that top 5 to try and win the tournament.
I think everybody that is playing in this lobby now saw that in the feed and realized what's at stake. And for Peterbot and Pollo, in that last game, they didn't land on them. They went and hunted them down. Now, Taco, there's only one team in their path.
But you can't forget about who else is hot on their heels. Shark and Teeny. Only 5 points separating them between the next spot on the leaderboard. And with that in the back of their minds, sure, you can keep Vico and Malabuca, but if the fight takes too long, you might just be cooked for it.
Skull died. Skull died. Skull died. Sky died. I'm fine. Be calm. Yeah. I know.
Stay calm, Malabuca, reminding Vico, the job is not finished. Stay calm, our chance to strike is now.
We're having all these conversations about Vico Malabuca, Shark Teeny, Peterbot Pollo. We can't leave Acorn and Bolts out of the mix. 295 points. I believe not too far behind them either. Swizzy and Pixie sitting around that 274 threshold. But Wonky Land fairly undisturbed for the time being. Teeny and Shark just going to surge base it out. But at this rate, the lobby is going to be picking up in pace rapidly because currently every single one of these teams you would anticipate, maybe they try to take out each other. Maybe the gloves just come off with Sky and Scroll being out of the lobby, but they don't want to risk what they feel like is their best shot at first.
I mean, as the game goes on, the room for shenanigans tightens. And honestly, it just becomes about putting your best foot forward and playing your best Fortnite here in game number 8. There is still so much to play for, not just that first place trophy, all across the lobby. Players desperately fighting for a spot in the top 15 to qualify for globals. And now everybody left in this one is playing for something here.
But why not me? That's got to be the theme running through Vico and Malabuca's minds right now, but they have to stay focused.
We saw Vico saying a prayer before the game began. It looked like his prayers were answered. He just has to finish his part of the deal now and deliver the goods.
10 points separate what Vico and Malabuca are at now. And first place on that leaderboard. And if they can get that, close out the game, they would be your Major 1 Summit champions. But they still have so much competition to watch out for. But again, Levin, you said it yourself, there's room for so much shenanigans. Shark is gonna go down. Teeny's by himself. Iyamzo and Josh are the ones hunting him down in Wonky Land.
They've had a rough go about the day, and they're looking to try and change their fate in the final hour here. A massive game is necessary for Zoe and Josh to bring this one back, but when they've taken out a priority fragger here at Wonkyland in his own backyard, Josh and Iamzo have the chance now to step it up.
And everybody's been bigging up these newer faces at the top of the EU mountain. But here in game number 8, nothing but struggles from our bright young stars. It's up to the experienced vets, the former champs, to try and show them how things are done.
Uh-oh. They know. They know. Right now, they already got that elimination onto Shark. They see a giant surge base at the top of Wonkyland. Typically, this is where you would see them, but they just can't find them.
They don't know, though. They have no idea that TD is still hidden, tucked away so discreetly inside of the safety of his surge base. But just one pinky toe out of line. That's all he's waiting for. The slightest opportunity. And if he can put down Zoe or Josh here in this moment, Darman Demish might just choose to strike. They're going to be drawn to any sort of immediate battle because even the polls are aware of the fact that every singular point matters, not just for the prize pool, but for securing your place at Globals in top 15.
Iamzo and Josh will leave. And like you said, Taco, no clue in the world that Teeny was still right beneath them. And that room might just be enough for him to keep Shark in this game and keep their chances alive.
Peterbot and Boyo up above. No fast moves coming at him this time around. And it's just, the gap is that close that they don't really have to worry about it. And a lot of extra heals for Peterbot and Boyo. A whole pizza shop underneath. And Peterbot is the one really taking the role right now, being on top of that surge power to take control of their storm surge.
It's the fact that Boyo had dropped everything in his loadout to just prioritize gathering as much resources as possible, taking them back to their surge base because they know, they likely saw it in the elimination feed too. Shark is gone. Sky and Scroll fully eliminated. So many top contenders now left in a very awkward position. And so their best bet might just be to play to their strengths. And Levin, earlier on in the last lobby, you called out the fact they're a team that tends to heat up as the game goes on. And right now, they're seemingly on fire. The only duo in this lobby to strike with 2 victory royales on the day.
Yeah, and they might just go for a third tackle. That's the type of form they're currently in. When you've got the greatest of all time, Peterbot, and he's not even the best player on his team right now. Boyo playing at unbelievable levels.
Great Corn and Bolts see the strategy. They kind of mix together the Fizz Grenade, the Shockwave, and that long launch pad towards the back, kind of moving out of render distance for most players as they quickly try to make their way in zone, and that's been a focal part of their game plan today.
The best part about it is that because of the fact that Shark is no longer in this lobby, Teeny will have to wait around. Wonky is just too distracted, cannibalizing itself from the teams that made their entry points after the fact. And darn Demish, they're willing to stick it out. The vending machine camp out might just come to an end here for Iamzo as he gets hunted out, fully ambushed.
Iamzo loves that vending machine. We saw him run to it so many times today, so many times in the lower bracket yesterday, and here he is punished in this final game.
That information right there is huge. Teeny knows Iamzo and Josh took down Shark. Now he knows Darman Demas just took down Iamzo and Josh, so he knows it's still not safe to move out of there just yet.
And that sort of delay to his overall game strategy for Shark and Teeny in comparison to a team like Vico and Malabuka, who have the luxury of just playing out their full storm potential. They are not in any sort of rush. They just have to keep their wits about them, keep their bearings. Vico always drawn back, I think, to that moment when he used to play with Pink. The loot's free, but this time he's much more reserved. He's much more composed, and he knows it's all about staying side by side with Malabuka to bring this one home.
when you have a player as talented as Vico, but as emotional as he can be. There is no better pairing than Malabuka. Stone cold, never too high, never too low. And against an on-fire Peterbot and Pollo, that is the temperament you need.
Pete Pollo just non-stop scanning into the horizon. It's going to be so difficult for Prakash and Hero to even make their way over that hill face. They are looking to fully lock them out the edge of zone.
Teeny has rebooted Shark, and so the marathon continues. Things aren't as easy as far as the pathway to a potential victory for these two as it is for others, but it certainly is not over. Shark has been one of the best players in the world this year, earning more and more, experiencing more and more, but he needs to be at his very best here in game number 8.
It almost feels like we're gonna have a lot of our top teams kind of stacked and positioned at the north side of the map. We got Acorn and Bolts. Just saw Peterbot and Pollo. We know Shark and Teeny are towards the north, along with Vico and Malabuka. So no matter where this zone goes, to the north or the south, there's a chance all of our top 5 remaining teams could come to a clash.
Shocking factor. Teams that have been performing the best in the lobby here today, now currently sitting in some of the best positions for this next zone. Pixie and Swizzy continuously looking back. They know that their destiny is fully under their control for Global Championship, but what they want is another step upwards. They need that top 5, even better still, maybe even dreams of top 3.
And this is the type of team that if you're one of those players fighting for the victory right now, you don't want these guys kicking it in the lobby. They are going to be a big threat. We have seen that. We know P and Pollo like to play high. Shark and Teeny do too. Swizzy and Pixie are always going to be impactful in those fights. Still so much talent in this lobby that can play spoiler to any one of our top 4 teams.
Just got to keep in mind as well, we're so focused on first, rightfully so. That top 15 mark coming into this game is 214 points. Goes to show how stacked this leaderboard actually is on both ends of that spectrum.
And old grudges might be restored here depending on what happens next. Cooper, Reed, so close to where Ritual and Agers were just at. I know it's easy to kind of sort the difference before the day has started, but it's another affair entirely to kind of throw salt in the wounds and find yourself eliminated by the team that's been contesting you all weekend long. But first and foremost, Ritual Agers, they'll have to try and sort out what's directly in front of them because the lobby's closing in and their wiggle room is just so limited.
That points in today's competition. Shadow and Virgo look like the best representation NA was going to have. And while they've continued to fight and be a threat, this final game will be their biggest test. Will they stumble in the final hurdle? Will they continue to do what they have done and be a solid team in this lobby?
I like their thought process here. 104 below the damage threshold. Shockwaving through, could have instantly tried to fire off at anybody along that path, but they made it a focus. Get into the zone, get high ground, and that's gonna be the best opportunity to get the damage that we need.
But the thing about Shadow and Virgo is they're not a duo that we often see struggling to maintain their surge threshold. So the fact that they find themselves in this position just underneath, UNDX gonna solve that problem for them. A little bit of pressure alleviated, only 11 below, just one more tag necessary. They don't want to have to expend any of their Blueberry Mist grenades so they can avoid it, but players are just refusing to budge. No one is giving an opening, and that goes back to the original point. It's difficult to find your marks.
15 to 68 to even finding elimination on the Minori. But Virgo takes a shot from above. All good things eventually come to an end, only spending a short moment on top of that Storm Surge. Now they quickly fall below, and it's active as well. Every 7 seconds, 25 damage will get ticked to eventually taken out, not knocked altogether. Swizzy's feeling it as well, 193. Even worse though, Taco, because he's by himself.
And Swizzy's trying to do what he can to reserve those last couple of pizza slices, but the problem is the way that the lobby is folding into itself, it's just not going his direction. He doesn't have the openings he needs. He has to heal instead. Now chasing behind Jace, gets a big shot to open, but Jace is firing back. Swizzy got the knock, but he didn't get the finish, and he's out of here.
Look on board, Shark and Teeny. You almost would have never have guessed this team was almost an inch away from getting sent out of this lobby. But now they're back, 400 above the damage threshold. They have a little bit of high ground, and they've regained control of their own destiny.
It only makes sense for Game Mate to come down to a forest zone location. This is prime time territory for Shark and Teeny, and it also makes height all the more difficult to control. It's very obscured vision up amongst the treetops, and so for Malabuka and Vico, they're gonna stick to the low ground, but they're gonna wait for their moment to try and strike above.
But that'll be no problem for this duo. I mean, they've dominated the low ground at times today, comfortable on any layer, and that's what you need to be when you're fighting till the end.
Yeah, you gotta remember, it was Vico on day one that was leading the pack in terms of eliminations. 314 here. They're just taking it one step at a time. They realize with a leaderboard this stacked, all it takes is one misstep, one mistake to really cost you a chance at that first place. And even more so, there's over $1 million on the line in this tournament. Each and every placing, you almost lose thousands of dollars.
And for a duo like Peterbot and Pollo, mistakes are far and few in between. These last few lobbies, they have been going absolutely ballistic. And frontside control now seemingly about to belong exclusively to them. Virgo trying to see if he can make the wraparound, but the problem is he's 285 below. Even if he makes it towards a frontside position, he still has to look back. He still has to connect shots. And when you're a one-man operation, potentially clashing head-on with other duos, this could be the end of it all.
Oh no, a big shot again, falling further below the damage threshold. 18 HP. He needs more than a miracle here. He almost needs 3 eliminations worth of damage, and a lot of that is getting stolen away. Nearby, Peterbot and Pollo, 144 above the damage threshold for them. Pollo deserves all the flowers in the world with how he's been playing this weekend, really leading the team to the promised land.
Here we're looking at wraps right now for Virgo. One more tick unless he gets this shot in. Twy, though, gonna manage to just slip away, and Virgo won't be able to make it through. Twy and Cringe safe for the time being.
And even though we pull away from the treetops, you can see Shark and Teeny still want to play for height. They take Acorn down, and that is perfect for their standings. They take down the team, or one of the players of the team, just beneath them, and that leaves Bolts in an awkward position. Will they continue to play for it, or will Hari look to get involved?
You're really seeing the live leaderboard right there, update in real time, not just elimination, but placement points as well. Peterbot and Pollo find their first one of the game. Slow and steady wins the race, but they got quite a large gap to overcome here.
And this is where it becomes very challenging for Vico and Malabuka to keep their composure. You're seeing that elimination feed light up. You're witnessing Pollo and Peterbot, Shark and Teeny make their surge up, and yet you still have to try and play to your own strengths. You don't want to lose any sort of kind of upcoming, and the swing is through. Vico and Malabuka, they've overtaken first.
This is a big moment for them because they cannot get lost. Taking first is not enough. They have to be able to hold it for the rest of this game. But another elimination from Vico has been found. First of the game for him, but he's diving deep into the zone to try to pick it up. Luckily for him, he does get the siphon.
The tournament is in their hands. There has never been a bigger moment in Vico's career, and this is his time to live up to that moment.
but he still has to deal with the likes of Pollo and Peterbot. He just has to play his own game, and from this front side low position, everything seems achievable. Right now, they are leading the charge in the underground. So much space has been claimed. They keep continuously looking back. The pre-builds are established, but Peterbot's ready to fire off.
A battle for high is inevitable.
That's the past versus the present. Pollo, once again, has to show why he has been the best player in this lobby all day long. Vico, with first place in his hands. Malabuka allowing him to lead the charge for a moment. This is the best case scenario for this duo.
This is it right here, though, because it's going to come in point in time, Taco, where Vico and Malabuka just stay alive. It's going to be mathematically impossible.
But Malabuka Vico, though, they know exactly what it takes in these final moments. They're ready to bring it home. Malabuka goes big time. There's the nut. Vico with the finish and the siphon for HP. Vico, go! Vico, go! Every single part of the way.
They can do it. They are beginning to run away from it. And now 40-point gap. Winning the game for Peterbot and Pollo is not going to be enough because they are bulldozing their way through the competition. But Malabuka goes down. Vico left by himself. He just needs to stay alive long enough.
Vico, he's no stranger to a solo situation, and he'll look to hit even more shots and completely run away with the competition. Cammy is in his sights, but he just has to connect with the crucial shot. Running it in and out of the zone, it's Vico, it's Vico, it's for Vico!
It's it right there, though. Pollo's still alive as a solo. I'm not sure what the point gap actually is, if he needs all the eliminations, if he needs the victory royale, but if there's one person this weekend that proved he will not go down without a fight, it's this man here, proving that maybe chickens can't fly.
And all Pollo has to do is see if he can get the first bit of confirmation. Epic and Pop underneath. Pollo, can he do it a third time? But it's a matchup. Epic will and Pop hold it through. Pollo doesn't get the win.
They have done it. Vico and Malabuka, they stayed alive in that last game. They got eliminations. They immediately destroyed the rest of the lobby. This is their moment. This is their chance. Vico and Malabuka, you are the champions.
And just like that, history has been made. Vico and Malabuka are going to bring home the title of Summit Land Champions, securing their spot at the Global Championship 2. But that trophy, it belongs exclusively to Vico and Malabuka.
Go ahead, guys. Lift that trophy. You